So, over the past several weeks on this podcast, we've talked about endocrine disruptors hiding everywhere in everyday life, in products we wash with, in products we bathe with, in products we're cooking with, and even in the water that we drink. One listener recently wrote to me to tell me it's really overwhelming. There's a lot to it. Where do you start? And a lot of times you just get overwhelmed and you don't start at all. She basically told me that she had been discouraged by the things that I had shared. And I can understand that completely because it seemed like every week there was some other thing that was hiding in plain sight, and yet it was attacking her health. And she just felt like it wasn't even worth trying because the stuff was everywhere. So today's episode is a little bit different. I'm going to wrap up this series that I've been doing over the last several weeks. And instead of adding more information today, I'm going to simplify everything that we have talked about into about 5 changes that are going to make the biggest difference in your world. And we're going to talk about how to support your body if you feel like that the damage has already been done. Thank you for joining me live. If you are on the live stream, let's get started. Welcome to If Mama Ain't Healthy, Ain't Nobody Healthy. I'm your host, Lori Morris, a Christian midwife, mama of 3, and wellness coach who believes your body isn't broken, it's beautifully designed by God. Here we talk about how to restore your energy, balance your hormones, and find peace and true wellness in your body again, no matter what stage of motherhood you're in, whether you're pregnant, postpartum, in the messy middle of mom life, or you're trying to conceive. And we do it all through biblical truth and practical, holistic living. Because you're not meant to just survive motherhood, you're meant to thrive in it. Let's dive in. All right, hopefully you heard the audio. Maybe you can let me know in the comments if you did hear the audio of my intro, because it looks like it's playing, but I can't really see it. If you're listening on the audio podcast later, please forgive the little comments because I am recording this live on YouTube. So I'm using the same audio as what I use on YouTube, and then I'm taking it over to the audio podcast. So just bear with me as I try out a few new things just to see if it makes life a little bit easier. Okay. Now, if you've been listening for any length of time, you know the first thing I usually do on my podcast is a review. And it's been quite some time since anyone has left me a review over on Apple Podcasts. But this week made up for it, y'all. The person who left me a review, that's about 6 days ago, just completely made my day. This is from Reagan GT. That's her screen name. Y'all know what I think about these screen names. I don't ever usually know exactly who's commenting, but that's okay. But I want to read this to you because it just makes my heart smile. Okay, the headline says, "Thankful. I have been crunchy for a few years now. Upon discovering we were pregnant, I began to search desperately for information about pregnancy and home birth. The Lord led me to this podcast, and after hours of listening to episode after episode, I was convinced and confident of my decision. In December of 2024, we welcomed our sweet baby boy into our family at home." She put that in all caps. "He is far healthier than many other children his age who were forced into the world before they were ready. Lori, I can recall on one podcast you describing the transition period, and you said, 'You can do this.' I can remember where I was parked when I listened to that episode. I cried and repeated your words. You encouraged me and empowered me. Thank you for freely putting this information out there. I have learned doing things God's way is the best way." Reagan, if that is your actual name, maybe just your screen name, thank you so much for taking the time to write that to me. That is the reason why I ever started doing what I do, because of people like you who just need the information. You just need to know that there's a better way. And for those of you who are listening who didn't know, my first 140 some odd podcasts were all about pregnancy. It was called Your Birth God's Way at the time. Those episodes are all still there on the podcast. Not many of them are on YouTube because I wasn't recording in video format at that time, but most of them are on your podcast app, whatever podcast app you use. You can go back and listen to those over and over, however many times, however many pregnancies that you have. I hope and pray that they lead you into a better birth, because there is a better way. And not only is there a better way for birth, there is a better way for living and for health. God's way is the best way, no matter what part of life you're talking about. And our general health is another way. So now I talk about more broad health topics, usually in If Mom Ain't Healthy, Ain't Nobody Healthy. And I'm so glad that you've chosen to join me here. Reagan, I hope that you're learning now more about motherhood and about how to take care of your babies. And in this case, what we're talking about today is to decrease the impact of this world's thought that they can make things better, and in so doing have caused our bodies lots of strain. But today what we're going to do is we're going to take the last, I don't remember exactly how many episodes it was. It may have been as many as 10 episodes that I did on these endocrine disruptors. And we're going to take those episodes and we're going to crunch them all down into one that's going to help you know where to start, so that you don't have to walk into this overwhelmed, so that you can make some real lasting changes for your body and for your life. Again, over the last several weeks, we've been talking about these. We've been talking about hair products, skincare products, body products, synthetic fragrances, plastics, food storage, cleaning products, drinking water. I mean, there are so many places that these toxins are hiding. And like the listener that wrote to me a couple of weeks ago said, it can feel overwhelming because it is in so many places. But there are very real changes that you can make that can make very impactful changes in your life. So I don't want you to walk into this thinking it's too much. I want you to think I can make changes, because awareness is such a big thing. So today's episode, again, is not about adding more information. It's about simplifying things, helping you be able to take it into your everyday life and knowing where to start, okay? You do not need to change everything right now. You do not need to know everything right now. But what you do know now, you can use to make changes bit by bit. Hormone issues rarely come from just one cause. Sometimes we are kind of led to believe that it's just one thing that we did that has messed our hormones up. It's usually not like that. It's usually a combination of factors. And those factors can come from these environmental exposures that we've talked about, from blood sugar imbalance that we talk about a lot, from chronic stress, from inflammation from either our lifestyles or our diets, and from nutritional deficiencies, among other things. So reducing endocrine disruptors lowers that burden on the body. It doesn't completely remove everything. It doesn't have to be perfect to get healing started, but understanding that removing that one piece in whatever aspects that you can will make an impact. I hope will encourage you to start somewhere. So let's talk about 5 changes that matter most. 5 things that you can do today or in the next few weeks that are going to really make an impact, okay? The number one thing that I think that you can do today that's going to make a big difference in how much of these endocrine disruptors you're putting into your body is to stop heating up your food in plastic. Heat dramatically increases chemical migration from the plastic into your food. So simple swaps are just to heat your food up in glass containers, preferably store your food in glass containers as well. But at the very least, when you start heating it up, take it out of the plastic, or use ceramic dishes, stainless steel. You can heat your food up on the stove, on cast iron skillets or stainless steel skillets. There's lots of different ways you can do this. You can heat it up in the oven, on stones. There's lots of ways you can do these things without having to use plastic and without heating up on plastic. So that would be the number one thing that I would recommend you do. Number 2, remove synthetic fragrances from your home as much as you can. Fragrance can hide in dozens or even hundreds of chemical compounds. And the biggest sources, as we've talked about throughout these episodes, is things like laundry products, air fresheners, candles, perfumes. It's really in a lot of stuff, okay? So anywhere that you're smelling something and you don't know for sure that it's coming from something like a clean, pure essential oil, that is a chemical smell you're smelling. And while it may seem pleasing compared to, things that stink, obviously, those things are chemicals and they are going to impact your body in a negative way. So the more that you can remove those fragrances, the more healthy you're going to be. And remember that these fragrances, when they get into like your clothes from your laundry products, they adhere themselves into your clothes. That's why that is there. So those plastics are living there. Those chemicals are living there. That's why it's so hard to really get rid of them. I talked in one of the episodes about a dress I bought for my little girl secondhand and how I cannot get that old laundry smell out of it. It is so strong. That's not because it's just that clean. It is masking something. And that masking is coming from chemicals. So the more you can get these things out and just get your clothes clean. Use products that just clean them, because cleanliness is not smelling good. Cleanliness is removing the filth and not smelling bad, if that makes sense. When you just dump good smell on top of it, it may not actually be clean. You're just masking it all. The more you can remove these things, the more healthy you're going to be. Okay. Number 3, replace one daily body product, because the things that you're using on your body every day are obviously the things that you're getting the most exposure from. So keep that in mind. And leave on products are the ones that are going to absorb the most, because you're leaving them on. You're not taking them and washing them off of your skin, right? So replace something that you use every day, something like lotion, deodorant, foundation. Out of those 3, if I had to pick one out of those 3, I would probably pick the deodorant, because the deodorant is going directly into a place where your lymph nodes live, very close to the skin, and they can take all of those toxins all over your body very quickly. Probably second from that would be lotion, because lotion goes all over your body, and then foundation, because foundation is the smallest impact of all of those, but it is the one that you're probably using every single day. Number 4, simplify your cleaning products. Most homes do not need complete disinfecting. Disinfecting meaning killing everything, right? We've been taught to believe that killing things is the best way. That is not always true. In fact, it's led to a lot of other problems that I did talk about in the cleaning episode. You can go back and listen to that if you want to learn more. In many, I would say even in most situations, soap and water is plenty. Ventilation helps a whole lot, and simple cleaning products are going to reduce unnecessary exposure. So look for cleaning products that are not as toxic. Look for cleaning products that don't have all of the fragrances added to them. Look for cleaning products that don't have so many chemicals in them that are going to be toxic to your skin and to your respiratory airways. Number 5, filter your drinking water. Water is the most consistent exposure probably that we have. Maybe I should have put this one at number 1. I don't know. But even basic filtration is going to help you a lot. You're going to remove things like chlorine, taste and odor compounds, some contaminants. But if you really want to go even further, get yourself a filter that removes things like fluoride, because that's another big contaminant that we're getting lots of on a daily basis. So those are 5 places that you can start. And each one of these places, by the way, if you're just joining the series on this episode and you're like, what is she talking about? Why is she, glossing over these things so much? Go back for the last several weeks. I have broken each one of those topics down into a whole week's episode, so you can go learn all kinds of more information. And on those episodes, I gave, on several of them, there were some free guides available for you where you could kind of have like a little printout that you take with you to the store to help you make better choices on these different categories. So go get those if you haven't already, and that will help you. At this point, you may be really starting to realize something important. Many women spend years trying to fix their health by tweaking one small thing at a time. But if your hormones are already dysregulated, and if your metabolism feels stuck, or if you're dealing with things like fatigue, inflammation, stubborn weight that you can't lose, or maybe weight that you keep gaining even though nothing has changed, then reducing exposures is only one part of the overall picture. The deeper work is restoring your metabolism and your hormonal function overall from a foundational level. And that is exactly what we focus on in my one-on-one coaching mentorship. If you want help on understanding what's actually happening in your body, not just guessing, but looking at your exact picture and building a personalized foundational strategy to restore your health, you can apply for a free foundation call on my website. On that call, we talk about your symptoms, your goals, and whether coaching would be a good fit for you. And you can apply for that in the link that will be in the description. It's probably not there yet if you're watching live, but it will be. Or you can just go to morriswellnessservices.com/application. So check that out if you're wanting that deeper work. The good news, though, is that the body is designed to process and eliminate compounds every day. God made our bodies to get out the things that get in that shouldn't be there. Okay. This is not without hope. We are not stuck where we are. He made our bodies to cleanse themselves and to detoxify themselves. And you don't need some extreme detox program like you've heard about maybe on social media to start making progress. Okay. It's nothing hardcore over the top, just some small enhancements to our built-in detox systems are going to help a lot. So let's talk about how we can do this. Thing 1 you can do is increase your hydration. So water support, obviously filtered water, right? Water supports kidney filtration and elimination. It helps you get things cleared out and washed out. If you are dehydrated, but your body is trying to get these things out, it's not going to be able to flush them out as well if you are not hydrating yourself well. So make sure you are drinking lots of water each day, like most people do these days. Carry yourself around a stainless steel cup that you can keep refilled. This is a 40-ounce cup. I usually will drink at least 2 of these a day. You can usually aim for about half of your body weight in ounces as a good starting point. But anything, just really aim at getting as much as you can. Just be sipping throughout the day so that you're going to the bathroom regularly so that your body is going to keep things cleaning out. Number 2, obviously, if we're going to clean out via our urinary system, we're also going to clean out via our digestive system. And the way that we're going to do that and have the bowel regularity that we need is through getting plenty of fiber, because fiber helps carry the waste and the metabolized compounds out of your body. So once your body has dealt with these toxins, metabolized them, and it's ready to get rid of it, you need to be going to the bathroom regularly so that those products are not then resorbed in your colon, okay? Whether you know it or not, if you're not going to the bathroom regularly, your stool is sitting in your colon longer than it should. And while it sits there, your body is resorbing fluid and other things out of your stool rather than just getting them out. You need to be going regularly, at the minimum once a day. But really, if you want to get down to it, you put food in, something should come out. So usually 2 to 3 times a day if you're having 2 to 3 meals a day. The way you're going to get increased fiber is through your fresh milled grains. I had that backwards in my head. Fresh milled grains. So your bread from organic fresh milled grain, from vegetables, from fruit, from beans, from seeds, organic as much as possible. Those are the things that are going to give your stool the bulk that it needs to pull the water in to then make sure that you're going to the bathroom regularly, again, at least daily, but more often than that. And believe it or not, if you're not going to the bathroom regularly, that can actually also impact your hormones in other ways, leading to things like estrogen dominance and things like that, because your estrogen is getting I don't even know why I went there. This is way too much for this episode. I'll talk about it soon on the podcast. But basically, if you are not going to the bathroom regularly, that alone can cause your body to have hormone imbalances that are going to impact your health overall. So, thing 1, hydration. Thing 2, bowel regularity. Thing 3, getting plenty of protein in your diet, because your liver uses amino acids to process hormones and environmental chemicals, and it gets those amino acids from the proteins that you eat, okay? And most women are simply not getting anywhere near enough protein in their diet to support this process. So that's the was that 1, 2, 3, third one. And the fourth one is sleep, because the brain clears metabolic waste during sleep. Especially the first part of the night, you need to be having plenty of sleep in that first part, because that's when your body's really doing a whole lot of immune work and a whole lot of cleanup. So sleep is one of the most powerful detox tools available. I'm getting some messages and things like that over here right now on YouTube. I'm not really sure if it's live streaming, but if you are there, just stick with me. If not, if something has happened and you're coming back on this later, I will reload the video later. I'm recording it also, so you'll be able to finish up the episode there. So just overall, what I want you to take away from this is that this does not have to be overwhelming. There are lots of very simple things that you can do in your life day to day that really can have lasting and impactful effects. Okay. Don't be discouraged. Don't think there's no hope. Just do what you can do. You are not behind. Okay. If this series has made you realize how many environmental factors are affecting health, just remember that. Even though you feel like, oops, I've done so much damage, know that you're not behind. You made choices in the past with the knowledge that you had at the time. I shared a quote that said this on my Instagram this weekend. It said, you made choices with the knowledge you had at the time, not the knowledge you have now. Now you're learning more. Now you know more. You don't have to have a perfect lifestyle, but you do need to be aware of what's going on out there so that you can slowly make the changes that you need to improve your health and the health of your family, because your health is built the same way anything else meaningful is built. One small decision at a time. Awareness is that first step, but don't give up. Don't think that there's no reason to even try this because there's no hope. There's just too many things out there. You're going to have to die of something anyway. Don't think that way. Realize that there is a lot that you can do to make sure that while you are here on this earth, you are not sick and miserable, but you are thriving. Okay. And that's what I want for you. I want for you to be healthy, for you to feel good, for you to enjoy your life, for you to enjoy time with your children, being able to play with them, being able to be active. I want you to thrive. So if this series helps you to connect the dots between your environment and how your body feels, the next step is rebuilding your health from the inside out. There are two places where you can go deeper. If this has kind of got you started and you're really wanting to learn more, two places for you to go deeper with me. First, Verity Village is a community of Christian women where we walk through these topics. We talk about them every day, step by step, in a calm and practical way where you're not expected to already know it all. We're working through it together. So that's the first place. And you can find out more about that at morriswellnessservices.com/Verity Village. That's VERITY Village. Okay. And second, again, as I mentioned earlier, if you're ready for personalized guidance into finally being truly healthy and finally being able to do things like play with your kids at the end of the day without feeling like you've been through the ringer just trying to get through your day, you can apply for a free foundation call to see if my one-on-one coaching mentorship would be a right fit for you. There will be links to both of those in the show notes. But as I mentioned earlier, the website for applying for a free foundation call is www.morriswellnessservices.com/application. If you're watching on YouTube, hopefully it's come back. All my warnings went away. So I hope that you're still there. I thank you so much for joining me. Please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll know the next time I'm live. Hopefully it worked out well enough to where I'll do it again. But if you're not listening on YouTube, if you're listening on the audio podcast and you want to be able to catch the podcast earlier, if you want to see it in video format, head over to that. Just look up If Mama Ain't Healthy, Ain't Nobody Healthy. It's the same name as my podcast. You'll be able to find it there and subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll know when I go live. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I will see you back here next week. If you were blessed in any way by today's episode, please take a minute to share it with a friend you know needs this info, or just post a screenshot on your Instagram stories and tag me so that I'll know you love this episode. Then come join us in Verity Village, my exclusive community built just for Christian women like you who want to learn to be well and live in alignment with God's design for their bodies. I'm in there every day chatting with the members and sharing information about a broad spectrum of topics like natural health, vaccines, nutrition, and the Bible. So you'll have a trustworthy, faith-based source away from noise and distraction for growing in your health and faith this year, along with a community of like-minded women. Also, I'd love it if you would head over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. You can find links for all these things in the show notes. I'm so very thankful for you, and I look forward to hanging out again with you right here next week.